Join the team.
Oh, did you see that bear? Hey, this is the McGuire Review, and today we're going to be taking a look at Zoo Ball. Now, this is another one that is new from Osprey Games. One thing that is awesome about Zoo Ball is we are going to do another giveaway on Zoo Ball. So, this is definitely one you want to get in on because this is a really fun game. This is what we're going to do. We have the epic Gen Con 50 coming up next week. So we're going to run a Gen Con giveaway on this one, which means it starts today. And it's going to run through Sunday, end of the day on Sunday. That will be the end of Gen Con next week. And then we are going to pick a winner, and that winner will be selected by the comments below this video. So to get entered, like all the giveaways on this channel, make sure that you're a subscriber. Click that subscribe button and comment below, and you will have a chance of winning a free copy of Zoo Ball. Now, we have been doing quite a few giveaways lately. And I think everybody's really been enjoying that. We've had a lot of engagement on the giveaways. It's been a ton of fun. And why not, right? Why not get a free cool board game? I have to tell you, this one is very, very simplistic. I was actually surprised once I got it out of the box just to see how simplistic the rule set was on this one. But it's a lot of fun. So let me show you what's in this box, because you'll see here the various teams that we have, and it's pretty awesome how they're actually kind of put together. So Zoo Ball, the king of sports, Osprey Games. Look here on the back. See, it's a 2 to 4 player game, so you can't get 4 in on this one. You will utilize these goals here for a 2-player, and obviously the corners here for a 4-player, and the 4-player is a ton of fun. And again, so simplistic. You can have adults, kids, all kids, doesn't matter, playing this, and you're going to have a great time. It's 10 to 25 minutes, so this is a really quick one. All in how quick and how good of dexterity you have to be able to score your points. And 8+ on this one. All right, let's crack this thing open. Much like all the Osprey games that we've seen this year, last year, they've got kind of this tome-style book opening kind of box, which I really like. I hope they stay with this with almost all of their games. I love the fact of how this box sort of works. What you're going to find inside is going to be the rule book here. Again, this is just how simple it is. It is basically a 4-pager. Open up, you'll see there the text and basically the layout of the rules, and they do it kind of in this announcer sports style, which I thought was creative and made it kind of fun to read through. And then on the back, you've got some rule set as well. Now, I will say for this particular title, it offers the head-to-head, and it also offers the rumble, they call it, which is the 4-player. So we'll explain that here in a second. Now, the next thing you're going to find in here, outside of a few little baggies to kind of hold some components, and there is a little bit, there is one of these marketing inserts here, which does call out the Lost Expedition, which we just did a video on. That's also a very awesome game I really like, and a couple other popular titles that they have. But what's cool about this is every version of Zoo Ball, or everybody that buys a copy of Zoo Ball, you have the ability to kind of customize your version of the game. And that's something that I thought was really awesome. And quite frankly, when I got everything out of the box and started to sort of put the stickers on, I felt it kind of difficult to go through and figure out, you know, which animals I'd want to go with and how I'd want to customize my team. Now, there is no difference in the abilities of the teams. They are just the different colors. You have the white, the black, the blue, and the red. And each team, you'll see right up here, does have one token that has kind of a yellowish background. That's going to be called your shooter. We'll explain that here when we look at gameplay. And then the other ones that have a white colored background are going to be your blockers. So much like you would be playing football or soccer or any type of game like this, you'd have people that would be kind of trying to make the goal and people that are trying to block, you know, others trying to make a goal on you. And that's pretty much how this game is set up. So you're going to have both sides of that when you play the game. Now on the sheet, you'll find, look how many of these animals I have left. Well, they give you a lot more, you know, animal choices than what is actually available in the game, which I absolutely love that because it forces you to kind of customize your version of Zoo Ball. And you can pick whatever shooter you want and pair them with whichever blockers that you want on this sheet. Now they do, you know, kind of group them together. You'll find, you know, there'll be kind of sort of barnyard animals, and then there was one that was more like zoo type animals. So they will kind of group them together as like a forest type group of animals. So if you just kind of want to go with that initial grouping that they have set up, you can do that. But I found it fun to kind of mix up a few of them. I didn't go, quite frankly, too far from some of their groupings because I think they had them grouped pretty nicely. But I did mix it up a little bit, and I think I'm even going to change something from what I have here. Down here on the red team, I went with the ferret shooter, and I'm really liking either this rooster or this monkey. I think I'm going to go with the monkey, and this is going to be the Screaming Monkeys team. I just think that'd be funny. So, if you want to come back and change them in time, you can. I mean, they are stickers that go on these pieces of wood. But if you do, I try to put it on where just a tiny little edge hangs over a little bit. Or you can sort of, if you don't do that, kind of get your nail under one edge. It might kind of, and I've removed this one already, it might kind of mess up a little bit of the edge. But you can peel these off. It isn't like they're kind of glued to this piece of wood after you put them on. You definitely, if you can get your fingernail under there, can peel these off and change them out with other stickers. If maybe you make a mistake, which is exactly what I did on this token. I made a mistake and I stuck it on one of these other tokens and I wanted it on this one. So they will come off if you do make a mistake. But I absolutely love that part and that design of this game. Like that they thought through that approach to give you more options than what was available. So you could kind of customize your particular version of Zoo Ball. So, Osprey, well done on that implementation. I just think that was so awesome, and it made it a lot of fun. Okay, so let's talk about gameplay here when it comes down to a two-player game. If you're playing a two-player game, you're going to utilize these areas right here. Each player will have one of these areas. The star is where your shooter is going to go, the yellow background. And this circle here, you'll see there are two of these circles actually in this section. It's designed that way so if you want to make a goal on the other person's team, so let's say this player here was trying to make a goal on this player, they would have to get their shooter inside of this larger ring. It can't be on it, it can't be over it, it's got to be completely inside the larger ring. And that, counts as a goal. Let's say you've been playing for a while and you really wanted to make it a little more difficult, or let's say you were playing against someone who was more of a novice. You could say, you know what, for you to score a goal on me, you got to be inside this larger circle. But for me to score a goal on you, you got to be inside of this smaller circle here. So that's one reason why this is kind of a two-ring circle, is you can make it more difficult over time if you want to. So that's how a two-player setup will work. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a game. We're going to go with kind of my forest creatures here, and I'm going to put my rabbit down there, and then the blockers can be arranged in any way that you'd like, sort of around the front arc of this goal. And really you're going to be trying to set up to sort of block so someone can't just take an initial shot and get it right in. So, maybe I'd want to set up like that, or I like to do kind of this straight line setup like this. And let's say that we're going with the kind of the winter type group here with the penguin. We're going to set that up there, and this player chose to kind of circle those around and blocking their goal. What you would do is you would choose a first player, and then on your turn you have one of two options. You either move your blockers, and you can move all three of them, or take a shot with your shooter, which you can only take one. And I like that design to this game as well, is you have to determine what you want to do each time. And sometimes you take a risk where it's like, you know what, I really need to position my blockers in a way because on the next turn they may have a chance to make a good shot. But you know what? I've got a shot right now and I'm just going to go for the win. I'm going to go for the gold. So that's the decision you have to make every single time when it's your turn. I will also say that, it is at heart completely a dex game, but there is some strategy because you have those decisions that you have to make between shooting and blocking on every turn, and so does your opponent. So, there could be moves that you do that are more strategic, where you're kind of positioning yourself for maybe a future shot, like shooting it way out to the side and then having to, come up, and then all of a sudden, you get in range where you feel that you can kind of make a shot and make it. Or, you go for that big shot and just go for that tactical move, and maybe you make it, maybe you don't. Now, one thing that I'll say is I do like the material that they used for this board. It's a very thick, like felt-based material. Then obviously you have your coated wood components here, which do slide pretty well across there. And I find that it does take quite a bit to get used to, how much to hit it to sort of get it there. And when you do move a piece, you can only use one finger. So you can do one of these, or you can kind of flick it, or you can put your finger at the top, as long as you're not like shuffling it around and then moving it. You can put your finger at the top and then flick it like this. So however you want to move that piece, but you can only use one finger, and it does have to be one release movement. You may also notice that out of the box, you might be able to see this a little bit on camera now, this felt board will have a little bit of creasing in it. And you may find for your first few games that there's still some little creases that are in it, and all of a sudden you'll flick a piece and it'll sort of ramp over a piece. You know what? That's going to happen for both players. So I don't see that as something that's unfair for one player or the other, or hey, I'm not going to play because there's creases in this mat. It's really going to affect both players, and quite frankly, I've found it to be actually kind of fun, because all of a sudden you'll flick it and you'll hit one of those creases and it'll jump up and kind of ramp. It's just, you really get into this game when you're playing, and I've played with this with my kids probably like 10 times, and we get to the point where we're all just like screaming and having a great time. And when we play multiplayer, and we'll look at what that looks like here in a minute. But if you do want to get this perfectly flat, do not iron it. It does call that out in the directions. Do not iron this. It is felt. You will destroy this board. You'll melt it. Don't try to do it. Don't try to put a piece of cloth on it and iron it. Just don't try it. You're going to end up ruining the board. What you can do is take the actual piece of felt, and wherever a crease is, you can kind of crease it the other way, and it will flatten out. And obviously, just laying it out on a table, if you want to put some books on it or something, there's lots of ways to flatten it out, right? And it'll flatten out over time. And mine is pretty flat at this point, and I don't have any problems. I can nicely, you can see right there, it's a very nice, clean, smooth flick all the way across the map. So that's what the board is about. That's how it's going to work. Now let's look at some gameplay for 1 versus 1, and then we're going to talk about how these corners work, because that, I think, is where this game gets really strong. So when it's head-to-head, it's first to 3 points. So in this situation, let's say this player was first. You know what I might want to do is I'm going to go ahead and strategically position my shooter, and I'm going to take my shooter and just take him right out. Oh, that was nice. Right out there. Okay, this player, and that's all I get to do, and I chose to move my shooter. This player is now going to say, you know what? That player may be able to slide in right here, so I'm going to go ahead and move my blockers. And I'm going to move a blocker right there, take one in. Oh, that might have been a little too far, and I'm going to try to get that blocker right there. There we go. Very nice positioning. Now, you can take a chip and just hit it into another one and knock it off the board if you want. And if it ever leaves the board, and I'll just use this for example, if it ever was to leave the board and fly off, wherever it left the board, this is the sideline here, you just kind of bring it right back on and set it right next to that line, right where it left the board. So that's how that works. And that's when you go off the sides. Now, if you were just, because you might think, well, that's an easy way to just get it down to the other opponent's end right next to their goal. Well, I'll just blast it right off the board and then be able to set it right back here. That's not how it works if it goes off this way. You can think of it as like a track if it goes off, this way. So if it goes straight off, you're going to bring that right back and you're going to put that chip back right here. So you're never going to be able to easily get yourself down there. But if it does go off of the sides, then you can bring it right back in. So, if you can get a shot where you can get it all the way down right into the corner, I've found is a good strategic move, where it doesn't go off the front, it goes off the side. You can get it fairly close and maybe be able to take a side shot there on your opponent. So let's take this back, put it back there. The opponent's positioned. Now it is my turn again. Well, you know what? Their shooter's still there. I'm still good and blocked where these guys are. I'm going to leave them here, and I'm actually going to take a pretty forceful shot right into the core of those guys. And that was not forceful at all. And that's what I mean. Like, I meant to really flick it in there, but I really wasn't able to get it. So you can see that, it does take some time to get the hang of it. And even if you know exactly how to do it, it just doesn't always work out. That's another thing I like about this game. It does add sort of that, that randomness to it. I think it's just because of the material they actually chose. All right, so now it's this player's turn again, and this player is now going to take a shot. Boom. Oh, that was good. All right, right down there. Now, this player is easily positioned for the win on the next turn. So now I have an option. I can go ahead and try to make a shot, flick it fairly hard, hit this one, knock it out of the way, and maybe slide in. Probably not going to happen because they do stop quite a bit when they hit one another. So I'm going to reposition my blockers. So I'm going to put a blocker right up against that, and Right there. Wow, that one's not very good. Okay, so now it's this player's turn. This player is now going to move their blockers. And they're going to go ahead and use a blocker to just get that shooter out of the way. And then go ahead and position themselves there and there. Okay, now it is this player's turn. I'm sorry, it is this player's turn, the rabbit's turn again. The rabbit's going to go ahead and take a shot. Come on. Oh, no, it's not in there. Okay. Okay, now. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, did you see that bear? You know what? Shooter is going to... Oh, no. Hang on a second. All right, we're going to take a risk. This player is going to take a risk and try to hit and make a goal. All right, here we go. Can we do it? No, it went off. Oh, and it's probably going to be all over. Okay, so it went all the way off this way. It is going to track back around, and it's going to come on the board here at the edge. And then this one is going to come back on the board here because it is mine. And I can't set it because of fall off because the table's too small for this particular mat. So we're just going to set it right there. And now all this player has to do is simply... Oh, I screwed it up. And that's what I'm talking about. That easy. I just messed up the shot. But let's say I would have made it. I just would have got in the middle. Okay, I would have scored the point, and that would have been point number 1. Now, again, you got to win 3 points to win the game in a head versus head. Now, let's look at what it would look like if we got into a game with multiple players. Each player, per their color, so the white, tokens here would be down here. Basically, what you're going to be doing is putting your shooter. Everything goes inside of this little circle here. You ignore these. These are no longer part of the game. And these will just get organized inside of here. And in this one, you can even kind of keep it out, sort of crossing the line if you want. And what you're trying to protect is this area. Now, again, the white would be used for this corner up here. This will be the reds. But this is where the goal is going to be. So you're going to try to score in this triangular area, which is actually a lot more difficult to get it into this triangular area versus a circular area. So it does make it a little bit different. Now, the beauty to this setup is you're going to have multiple people playing, so it's not just head to head. So let's put these down here, put them where they should be, okay? And what's going to happen is it's going to be the first to score 1 point. Okay, it's not the first to 3, it's the first to score 1 point. So it is literally a cutthroat death match. And the beauty to that design is what you will find is this player can score that 1 point on this player, or this player. It doesn't matter. It isn't like you're just trying to go to opposite corners. You can score the point in any other player's area. Now, what you will find is as other players are getting close to scoring a point in another opponent's area, you'll be sending your blockers down to someone else's goal and blocking them to try to keep someone from scoring in someone else's goal. And that's what I love about the 4-player rumble, is everybody is trying to literally defend everyone else's goal, and then when they have the most opportune moment, taking that shot to get it in someone else's triangular colored area. Which, again, is a lot more difficult, but I love that sort of head-to-head deathmatch, rumble component they've built into this 4-player. I'm glad they didn't go with a 3-point system. I'm glad they didn't go with a corner-to-corner. I mean, you could potentially have your own house rules and play, team base. You could... go color to color if you wanted to. And that's another beauty of this. It's sort of an open platform. You've got your rules set here, but if you wanted to, you could add house rules to say, you know what, if you get it in here, it's like a bonus point, or it gives you some kind of ability, or, whatever, right? You can really use this in any way that you want to add house rules, and I really like that as well. So that's Zoo Ball. You can see I am really excited about this one. We've been playing the heck out of this game. I mean, we have played this game probably 10 or 15 times since I got this game, and we absolutely love it. And I think it's just because, one, the simplicity. Games are super fast. I find they're very fast in this format. So when you do the 4-player format, games are generally really fast, unless you have 3 to 4 seasoned players that are really good. They've really got the decks flick down. They know how to hit other tokens and knock them off the board at the right opportune moments. you will find that these type of games go very quickly. The 3-point games, still quick games, but usually take a little bit longer, but still just as fun. So this one comes with a high recommend, and I'm very glad that I ended up getting a copy of this, because this isn't one that originally I had my eye on, but once we got this and we started playing it, it's just hands down a ton of fun. And it's one of those that you can pull out, you can play whenever you want. Your friends come over, it's beer and pretzels, everybody's got a drink, just having fun. Bear loves it. All right, remember the giveaway. Hit that subscribe, comment below. At the end of Gen Con 50, we will select a winner that will get a free copy of Zoo Ball. It will be shipped to you. We are gearing up for Gen Con 50. Be looking for an overview of that as we're there. We're going to do a lot of video of what's going on, what it looks like. It is going to be off the charts this year. The amount of people that are going to be in downtown Indy is going to be insane. They have officially sold out, I believe, on all badge types, which has never happened before. This is going to be awesome. We can't wait. All right, Zoo Ball, if you see it, pick it up. You will not be sorry. Click that like, hit the subscribe below to join the team, ring the bell. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you next time. I love the zoo.